You're watching RTV News with me, Jane Motoni. The headlines. Following the death of the founder of Partners in Health, Dr. Paul Farmer, on Monday, people from all walks of life and around the globe have been noting on the loss the world has suffered. The plenary assembly of the Senate has decided to summon the Prime Minister to give a verbal explanation on the issue being faced by the Modu villages and other villages in which the government has settled people. Welcome to the news in details. Earlier this evening, President Paul Kagame attended the inauguration of the Stade Abdoulaye Wade in Dakar. The multi-sports complex is a 50,000-seater, boasting a number of training facilities and is said to have cost more than $269 million to complete over a span of 2 years. Other dignitaries at the event included the presidents of Germany, Turkey, Gambia, and Guinea-Bissau. The stadium was built by the same Turkish company that constructed the Kigali Arena and has been constructed to upgrade the Amahoro National Stadium here in Kigali. Now, following the death of the founder of Partners in Health, Dr. Paul Farmer, on Monday, people from all walks of life and around the globe have been noting on the loss the world has suffered.
World-renowned physician and co-founder of Partners in Health, Dr. Paul Farmer, has died.
Finally tonight, remembering a giant in the world of public health. Dr. Paul Farmer, a physician, anthropologist.
It's a man who spent years trying to bring world-class health care to the poorest parts of the globe has died suddenly. Dr. Paul Farmer, co-founder...
On Monday evening here in Rwanda, following the confirmation of the death of the doctor, shockwaves were felt worldwide and messages of condolence immediately began to pour in. Paul Farmer has been in Rwanda for the past month lecturing at the University of Global Health Equity. Among the dignitaries to express their profound sadness upon hearing the news of the death of the doctor was President Paul Kagame, the Rwandan head of state, tweeting, "The weight of his loss is in many ways personal to the country of Rwanda, which he loved and to which he contributed so much during its reconstruction, to my family and to myself. I know there are many who feel this way in Africa and beyond." End of quote. Partners in Health, the non-profit organization Dr. Farmer co-founded back in 1987, currently operates in 11 countries on 4 continents, including Rwanda, providing critical health services to the people that need it the most. The Director General of the World Health Organization had this to say upon learning of the death of Paul Farmer, and I quote, "Deeply saddened and heartbroken by the passing of my dear friend and outstanding global health champion, Dr. Paul Farmer. He led so many efforts for health equity and against root causes of injustices. We must never stop continuing his legacy. You will be so greatly missed, my friend." End of quote. The former U.S. President Bill Clinton, who worked closely with the deceased on many initiatives in different countries, including Rwanda, stated, and I quote again, "Changed the way healthcare is delivered in the most impoverished places on earth. He saw every day as a new opportunity to teach, learn, give, and serve. And it was impossible to spend any time with him and not feel the same." End of quote. Bill Gates had this to say. I quote once again, "What a devastating loss. Paul is a hero, and I was fortunate to call him a friend. I have never known anyone who was more passionate about reducing the world's worst iniquities in health, or who did more to live by his values." End of quote.
And that's who Paul Farmer was, everyone's friend, including mine, and we will all miss him dearly.
He changed so many lives and the outcome of public health around the world. Doctor, thank you.
Numerous others also expressed their sadness at the passing of Paul Farmer, including co-workers and the many beneficiaries of his courageous work. The organization he co-founded has been operational in Rwanda since 2005 and has positively impacted the country's health sector and individual lives profoundly, frankly in more ways than mere words can express.
The plenary assembly of the Senate has decided to summon the Prime Minister to give a verbal explanation on the issues being faced by the Modu villages and other villages in which the government has settled people. Take a look. This was announced at the plenary session as they were receiving a report from the special committee of the Senate that was set up to look into various issues within 30 days that are being faced by model villages and other villages in which the government has settled people so as to address the problem of homelessness. The chairperson of the special committee, Muresiangwano Marie-Rose, say that in general, the senators in this commission found that a lot of people that are in these model villages are happy.
After receiving this cow, I was able to get out of poverty, as now I can afford to buy my child a book and buy cooking oil as well, which means that this cow has been beneficial to me. We have centers, we have a nursery school, and some of us deliver milk there. Children drink porridge and tea in the morning, and drink milk as well, and the rest we sell it in various centers.
However, in this course of the assessment by the Special Senate Committee, it found that there were various issues in these villages as explained by its chairperson, Muresiangwano Marie-Rose.
Reka duhere ku kijyanye n'inzu zishaje. Mu nzu zishaje harimo inzu zubakiwe abatishoboye nyuma ya Jenoside.
I'll start with the issue of houses in disrepair, and among them are those that were constructed for the vulnerable after the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, which haven't been repaired yet, and yet they are in a bad shape. And there are also villages with old houses which shouldn't be settled in. You've seen some of the examples, as in some cases we would tell the local authorities to relocate the people from such buildings while they are being repaired. There are some people whose houses are in such a bad form that when it rains, they seek shelter from their neighbors. There are also houses that were constructed poorly, which are the old buildings I was talking about, especially those that were built in 1998 and before. There are also old buildings that haven't lasted that long, but are poorly furnished, whereby the nails that were used during the construction were not the proper ones for construction. Honorable Vice President and Honorable Senators, to our shock, we found out that some houses had been built without using the proper nails, yet all nails cost the same price. So you wonder why they didn't use the proper nails on the iron sheets, hence causing the leaking in those houses when it rains. Issues like poor sanitation and the lack of accountability or not taking good care of the infrastructure in these villages have been raised in a special Senate report. Some of the residents in these model villages and other villages also expressed some of the challenges they face.
Some residents do have a high level of cleanliness. Not all 100 people have the same mindset or understand things the same way. And here we are 116 families with different perceptions, but they change with time after settling.
Some senators say that there should be an advocacy and meetings for people living in model villages and other villages in which the government has settled in people. The plenary assembly of the Senate decided to summon the Prime Minister to give a verbal explanation of the proposed measures in order to address the various issues in the model villages and other villages in which the government settled in people that were homeless. More than 120 villages have already been built in the country, of which 5,182 households have already been relocated to these villages, which is said to be composed of 28,000 people that have reaped the benefits of living in these model villages. Now, according to the Rwanda Agricultural Board, the country has now reached 100% in producing maize seeds needed locally, and also noted that they are currently exploring new ways of exporting these seeds to other countries because they can now produce 2 times of what they used to import. Olive Nete reports.
Due to the multiplication of maize seeds currently being done in Rwanda, the country has now reached the goal to successfully satisfy the local market. According to Moses Ndaisenga, the operation manager of Minimex Ltd, a factory of maize products in Rwanda, in 2021, there has been a decrease in the imports compared to the year 2020 thanks to this technology.
2 years back, Minimex was importing a very big percentage of the annual demand. Here I mentioned in terms of percentages, we imported 27% of what we made in 2020. But last year, 2021, importation reduced substantially from 27% to 9%. That assisted us to secure raw materials on time because we had our sourcing strategy concentrated on the local farmers. Second, it was taking to have raw materials reduced because raw materials were coming from a very short distance, unlike importing maize from 2,000 kilometers from the factory. So that is really helping investment and also encouraging farmers because they are farming when they are very sure and assured of the market.
Currently, in Rwanda, the numbers of companies who do this process of multiplying seeds are 25. Safari Jean Bosco, the Chief Executive Officer of Tree Seeds Company, which multiplies seeds, notes that their aim is to increase the multiplication of these seeds so as to increase productivity.
The purpose of our company is for self-sufficiency of seeds in the country. So we're looking at producing more seed, and for this season you have achieved the target because now the Rwanda has enough seed. There's no need to import again. So it means that the companies which are involved in seed production, we have put in investment and all effort technicity and the technologies that are related to seed production, and we are sure that the country has enough seed now. What is there is that these seeds, we have two varieties for low and midland. One is RHM 1407, the other one is RHM 1409. So those varieties can give to the farmer a productivity of 9 to 10 metric tons if it is not a mixed cropping.
The Rwanda Agriculture Board notes that they can now produce from 8 to 10 tons because of this process of multiplying maize seeds. Dr. Patrick Karangwa, the Director General of Rwanda Agricultural Board, notes that they are currently looking at how they can expand the market.
The progress with local production of seed is at a very satisfactory stage. When we look back in a couple of years, when we were importing a huge amount of seed from countries like Kenya, Zambia, a couple of 5 years ago, we used to import around 3,000 metric tons of seed. But now we are using more than 8,000 tons here, produced locally, and we have even more than that is not being used. That is looking for market. We are exploring possibilities of exporting seed.
The Chief Executive Officer of KGB Seed Company and also the head of Agriculture Chamber in the Private Sector Federation note that they need a special fund to support this program of multiplying seeds.
Hybrid ni imbuto tuwura ku buryo buhoraho.
The government should set up a special fund for this program of seed multiplication to support people in this business. The hybrid is a seed that has to be multiplied continuously. If you don't do pre-basic seed, you cannot get hold of the basic seeds, and without those basic seeds, you can't get the certified seeds. It is a continuous process, and if one of the steps is missed, reconstructing the chain can take 5 to 10 years. To keep this chain, it requires a sustainable financial situation.
According to the National Institute of Statistics of Rwanda, the first agricultural season of 2021, maize were planted on an area of 236,642 hectares, while the first season of 2020, maize were planted on 221,521 hectares. In 2021 Season A, the productivity was 378,641 metric tons, while 2020 it was 353,999 metric tons. Between the two seasons, the maize plantation area has been expanded and crop production has increased by 7%. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Thank you, Oli, for that report. Now, Rwanda Governors Board and the development partners believe that there should be a partnership in planning and evaluation so that the public can be better served because there are services that are criticized by the community. Now, in Kigali, the rate of service delivery, especially economic-related services, is about 65.6%. Martina Abera reports.
When you work around different parts of Kigali City, people tell you that some of the services they get are fast, but there are also some that they say are difficult to access or even they take long, which is why they are asking for better services.
Iyo ugiye ushaka nko kwandikisha cyangwa gukora ibintu bijyanye na za mitasiyo.
For instance, when you go to register your land, or when you are looking for services in line with expropriation, such decisions are made after such a long process. I don't know if it is dragged around on purpose sometimes. It's like they first want one to sweat a little. An example is that you can request for a construction license at around this time of the month and you receive an answer in May. It is not right at all.
The words of the residents of Kigali are in line with the findings of Rwanda Governance Board survey in terms of the picture of how the population is taking the governance and service delivery. The overall picture of the economy services in Kigali City is at 65.6%, as in Gasabo district, those who appreciate the service delivery in the agricultural sector are 48.7%. In Kichushiro, the critics of these services are 43.4%, and in Nyarugenge, the services in the agricultural sector that are criticized are at 57.4%. Land services are appreciated at the rate of 59.2% in Gasabo, 65.6% in Kichuchiro, and 58.9% in Nyarugenge. Kigali City Mayor Prudence Rubingisa says the problem of corruption is one of the main obstacles in service delivery, including land services, and that the authorities are continuing to monitor it.
Dufite ikibazo twamaze kubona cy'abantu bifuza kugura cyangwa kugurisha ubutaka.
We have realized that there is an issue with those who want to buy or sell land in parts of Kigali that attract investors. Here is where we come across problems of corruption, delays in service delivery, and not giving directions to citizens on where to access these services. So those are some of the main issues we have come across, especially land services.
Stakeholders in Kigali find that planning together is one of the ways to solve problems that hinder the development of the people in Kigali. A vendor has a home in a certain cell. A child who dropped out of school is also a resident in the cell. People are meant to be approached in their cells, which is where we should put more emphasis on. We need to know their homes. This is in order that the problems and issues that the community faces can be addressed from early stages so that it will be easier once it is taken to higher authorities. Overall, the appreciation of the service delivery is at the average of 74.1% nationally. RGB Chief Executive Officer Dr. Usta Kaitesi finds that the relevant authorities should put more effort into improving the services offered so the country achieves its desired goals. It is very possible for us to achieve our desired goals, for citizens to be put first and receive better quality service delivery. It will be possible once we all come together and join our efforts into seeing this through. According to the recent RGB Citizen Report Card, the security sector was the most appreciated at the rate of 91.6% and the agricultural sector at 59.5%. The goal is that by 2024, the population will be happy with the service provided at the rate of over 90%. Martina Abera reporting for RTV News.
Banana farmers in Nyabihu district of Western Province have welcomed the completion of a processing plant in their area that is capable of taking in 10 tons of bananas every day. Zine Banana Chips plant has already begun buying bananas from the local farmers and also provides training to them on modern farming practices that ensure the best produce. Now, the initiative was supported by the Kingdom of the Netherlands.
The company produces potato chips, which is very beneficial both for the company itself as well as for the wider group of producers of banana, and of course in the end for the consumer, because they taste very well. Because as an embassy we have made a decision to focus on trade and investment in our relation with Rwanda. And that's why we feel it's important that we can reach out to companies like Zine, as well as invest in other topics which are related to trade and investment.
Operational and cost more than 95 million Rwandan francs to complete. Well, there you have it. On behalf of the entire news production team, thank you so much for your company. I'm Jane Mutoni. Bye for now.